Hello everyone and welcome. I'm the Retro Repair Guy. Please allow me to take a quick minute to say thank you so much to all the new subscribers as well as the old ones. Overwhelming to me the response that I got from my last video from the home theater. I really did that video from my heart, and it was so nice to see positive comments, people saying it inspired them, you name it, thumbs up, 2,500 views as of today as of filming this. Wow, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. And thank you. Thank you so much to everybody. And, leave me your comments. Keep leaving me your comments like this because I can't please everybody. But I'll tell you something. We can work together to make a better channel and bring you all the content that you want. So if there's more of something you want to see, less of something, less of me blabbering, whatever. But, it's my thing. And I'll tell you something. These videos are a lot easier to make when you know nobody's watching. It's true because there's no pressure. Now that I saw so many people watching and stuff, it's like telling me, I got to make the next video better and better and better. That's never going to happen. I don't know. It's just going to be me. I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to make my videos the way I know how to make them. And I really hope you enjoy them. But your comments will definitely help me in the right direction to bring you a better channel and a better content. So, if you allow me to share with you something a little personal, somebody wrote to me, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me, but they wrote to me that it was nice that I was enjoying life and everything. And, a lot of this, you've heard me talk about my uncle in past episodes and even in the home theater that he excuse me, I inherited those from my uncle, the nights and stuff that were there. And, the thing is that my uncle, when I was younger, they couldn't have kids, long story. And so I was spending a lot of times in his place. And, my uncle was given 5 years to live. This was back in the 80s. He had a big heart operation cut open like this. And they said, listen, you're lucky to be alive. And you got about 5 years to live. So my uncle said, I'm going to enjoy life. And we'd wake up at 9 a.m. and he'd be like, you want a steak? Like, sure, let's have a steak on the barbecue. Whatever. There was no rules per se, like that. And it was just like, enjoy what we have, enjoy it there. He taught me how to fix a lot of stuff. And you know what? My uncle lived almost 40 years after that, by the way. So I think because he was just enjoying life. And so that whole positive energy and stuff like that, the whole, being thankful for what we have, I bring it to my daily life. And so even when I'm fixing things, I'm actually enjoying it. I enjoy fixing my house. I enjoy fixing cars. And the older, the better, because I love to restore it and make it new again. It's just in my blood. I was 6 years old. I was cracking open stuff, so I wanted to see how it functions. I wanted to see it with, the whole understanding of it. And I don't know, I just got this sickness of always wanting to fix everything that was old. But anyways, and I call it a sickness because I really buy everything that's destroyed. So, but anyway, so I just wanted to share a little bit, of that with you. And so without further ado, today I'm pointing there because it's in back of me. It's back of the camera over there. I've got a tape deck, a 1977 Hitachi tape deck, a D-720, which was my uncle's, yes. And you saw in episode 2, I was fixing the amp. This is a tape deck that goes with it. And so I really want to share with you. I went all out, cleaned it all up, changed all the capacitors, and it's a beautiful unit that's going to remain here. It's going to, be a part of him and a part of what I grew up with, bringing us back to those good old times and, keeping his legacy going. So let's go take a look. With the unit now open, it allows me to do a quick visual inspection. I don't see any burnt or leaked capacitors, but a closer look reveals a diode that has some charred legs. The belts don't feel that bad, but since I'm restoring the unit, and they are over 40 years old, it's only good practice to replace them. Plugging in the unit, I also see that the lights on the view meters don't work, and I don't have any power going to them. Even so, my guess is that they're probably burnt anyways, and I see one of the connection is severed right at the edge of the lamp. Testing the diode showed it to be defective. I of course unsoldered it from the board just to make sure. Let's jump right in since I'm recapping the whole unit anyways. Starting with the power supply, I'm replacing all the capacitors with Nichicon audio capacitors rated at 105 degrees. You can see the difference 4 decades has done for technology, as the new ones are much smaller in size while being rated at the same or much higher voltages. Upon removing the capacitors, I see that one of them has some bulging on the bottom that I couldn't see before. There also seems to be a lot of cold or cracked soldering on the board. I'm pretty sure I'm the first one to service the unit, so I wonder why they look this bad. As if it's not big enough of a job recapping the entire unit, I started resoldering most of the solder joints. I found a defective voltage regulator, so I had to order it. And while I wait for parts and the wife is away, let's take a bath. So just a little note, I had 2 burnt diodes that I found on the motherboard, one on the power supply and one on the regular board. The thing is that these, even though I had the spec with me, were referring to a W06 number. Now, W06 was not any diodes that I know of or that I could find. So W06 was actually a part number from Hitachi, but they don't tell you what that part number is. So I went digging a little deeper and I found, and I'll put it up on screen, the W06 actually refers to a 1S something something, which I forget right now, but I'll put it up on the screen. And that 1S is equivalent to a 1N 4001 to 4007 series, which are much more regular common diodes, rectifier diodes. So the thing is, in this case, it was equivalent to a 1N 4002. So again, I'll put it up on the screen and I'll put it down below in the description, the links to it. So that's what it's equivalent to, okay? It's a regular rectifier diode, so a W06 from Hitachi. With the parts in, the voltage regulator and diodes replaced, I soldered new view meter lamps and everything seems to be working. As I said before, even if the belts felt okay, when restoring a unit, I would not feel right leaving 40-year-old rubber belts in. There are a total of 4 belts: the counter, the flywheel, take-up and F-belt. The first belt is accessed by removing the cassette holder assembly. With the cassette assembly removed, it's also much easier to reach the record and playback heads and give them a good cleaning with some 99% alcohol. Make sure to clean the pulley itself to remove any deposit from the old belt and assure good contact with the new belt. The pinch roller is still okay, so I'm cleaning it with some rubber renew. I did it twice and let it soak up into the pinch roller. This stuff helps regenerate the rubber so that it won't slip when grabbing the tape. And there's no better time, of course, to clean and remove all the dirt and grime from the piano keys. With the belt replaced, I'm reinstalling the cassette assembly and making sure it ejects properly. Moving on to the back to access the other belts, I start by removing the cover that protects the flywheel. However, I quickly realized I cannot access the secondary belt without pulling the flywheel completely out. This means removing the cassette assembly once again to access the small nylon washer holding the flywheel. Another obstacle is the metal bar that pushes the record switch to the on position. It can easily be pushed out of the way by removing the 2 screws of the support that holds it in place. I always have tons of belts on hand, so I found one that matches the old in thickness and width, and I selected one that was just slightly tighter. Of course, remember to clean the residue off the pulleys and flywheel as well. One last thing was that I added some white grease to the eject mechanism and play gear because, well, at risk of being repetitive, the grease is over 40 years old. I also gently brushed the board with an old toothbrush and some 99% alcohol to remove all the flux. Here's a look at the clean board with all the resoldered points. Well, this is definitely a piece of equipment I'm keeping, and not just because it was my uncle's, but because it's 1977, robust piece of equipment. I love it. I love the piano keys on it. I love the look and feel, the metal housing, metal plate in the front. And, these things were built to last. Anyways, it sounds great, and I'll make you listen to it in just a quick second, but obviously it doesn't come across because you got to record from a microphone and it goes into the camera, which is compressed for YouTube. So you'll never get the real feeling of it, but take my word for it. It is amazing.
We you see?